This is Defense at Sea. At the Mkunguni Jetty, the epicenter of all Kenya Navy deployments, is where our routine voyage begins, guided by the Kenyan Navy crew. We make our way on board. A piper blows his pipe. This is a salute indicating that we are on board in the company of a senior officer. With us today on this voyage is the Kenyan Navy Fleet Commander Brigadier Sankale Kiswa. We are headed for an offshore patrol within Kenya's territorial waters. At the bridge, where the warship is steered, is a perfect place for one to find a good example of teamwork. Major Hariri Mwagandi, the first female commander of a Kenyan Navy warship, is a woman at the helm. She issues a series of commands to each officer as they play their part in launching the 1,515 tons of warship. As is the Navy tradition, when a vessel like this moves through the Mombasa Channel, soldiers on board move to the right side of the ship to salute the Navy commander whom we have left on land. A few minutes later, they move to the left side and the same honor is accorded towards the city of Mombasa. It used to be the Mombasa Mayor's salute back then. The Navy has kept the tradition long after the municipality structure was abandoned.
At the bridge, as I command the ship, ensuring it is my responsibility to ensure that the ship is safe, but I have a navigating officer who is responsible to advise on the best route to follow and the best way to avoid navigational hazards. I also have a coxswain at the bridge. I give conning orders to the coxswain and he executes them as part of what I give. Then I have my second in command also at the bridge, whose main role is to mainly ensure that as we are at the bridge, the forecastle, which is the forepart of the ship, and the quarterdeck and all other safety procedures on board are being observed.
This vessel is equipped with complex combat system, ideal for protecting it from naval, aerial and submarine attacks. Jasiri, like any other Kenyan Navy warship, is fitted with a sonar system that detects all movements underwater up to 100 kilometers away. It is also fitted with a 360 degrees radar that can detect objects as small as a golf ball from the same radius. Also on the routine voyage on board the Kenyan Navy warship Shujaa is a sister vessel's commanding officer, Major Gilbert Mbogo.
The vessel is used to sea lift our sister services, especially the Army, to the various FOBs, various places they are located along the coast. She is also used due to her sensors and also due to her weapons. She is used to conduct a shore bombardment and offer or deliver naval gunfire support.
The two commanders explain how boots on board are rotated to ensure the vessels are at all times ready for combat.
We have something called watch and station bill, and we have various watches on board that every soldier normally do his or her watch at intervals of around 4 hours. You take a rest, 4 hours, you take a rest. So at any particular time, the ship is covered 24/7.
Several cliques offshore, which is military lingo for kilometers, we are now in a safe military activity zone, but this is within Kenya's territorial waters that extend 22 kilometers in the Indian Ocean. From north, west, east and south, all I can see is water. To the normal civilian that I am, perhaps I'm stranded and lost. But to the Navy officers who carry out these operations on a daily basis, they know exactly where we are. And this is how they safeguard our territorial waters. And it is here that the fire simulation is conducted.
The soldiers who are trained on board, with the experience, they are able to identify a hostile target. Anytime a hostile target is within reach, we close up our action station, we man our guns, We neutralize that target and automatically we have to sink it.
The team simulates a response to naval attack from an enemy ship. With gunships at all corners of this 84.5 meter long vessel, officers manning the rifles swing to action. This is the amount of firepower that will be meted out on the enemy.
As an offshore patrol vessel, is equipped with weapons and guns that are capable of providing naval gunfire support to our troops on land. We can also do shore bombardment. We can also conduct anti-air operations.
The engine-powered guns have an effective range of up to 5 kilometers. These 12mm caliber guns fire up to 6 kilometers. The close-in weapon system, a 30mm gun, fires up to 6 kilometers as well, with the capability of destroying missiles launched towards Jasiri. It fires 6 rounds at a go. This firepower can sink an enemy vessel within minutes. When push comes to shove, the command will be issued for this Bofors gun, a 57mm caliber with a maximum range of 15 kilometers.
Report at the scene of fire. Attack party report at the scene of fire.
Mess! Fire! 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 Incinerating mess!
While in the shooting melee, just in case it is asymmetrical warfare, where Jasiri takes a hit, a fire could break out on board. Soldiers on board know exactly where to be and what to do.
Then the crew must be able to contain that fire. In that process, then the crew should be able to know who does what in that situation, considering it won't be in a peacetime condition.
Among the numbers on board, there is a contingent specifically trained to firefight. Geared up in their firefighting attire, they swing into action. Minutes later, the fire on board has been contained. On board this massive fighter, there are medics to attend to any injury that may arise, whether from combat or any type of accident on board.
I provide medical care to the crew on board. I attend to emergencies that arise while we are sailing. And I'm in charge of the hygiene and sanitation of the members of the crews.
The ship is taking water!
Lake stoppage party report at the scene of flooding. Lake stoppage party report at the scene of flooding.
In case the warship takes a hit and water begins to seep in, then the team quickly swings into action to seal the leakage and secure the vessel.
The ship is floats freely, meaning there's a certain part of the ship that's below the waterline. So if anybody manages to attack you, then that person interferes with the integrity of the ship, and as such, you'll be forced to learn on how to contain the amount of water that the ship takes in.
And when the situation escalates and the vessel has taken in more water than it can handle, then the 59 servicemen and 7 officers on board have to abandon the vessel. This too is anticipated and there is a protocol in place. And here, it is a matter of service beyond self.
As you go on, the weaker persons are between, not the first ones or the last ones. Now, in the worst case scenario, each and every life raft has a team. So when the team wants to disembark, the commanding officer is the last person to disembark from the ship. That might explain why in so many instances of ship attack, both in the UK and the USS, you will end up seeing the captains becoming part of the casualty, probably taken in by the ship as it goes down with them.
There is evacuation gear, bright red in color for ease of visibility. It keeps the soldiers warm in addition to giving them buoyancy so as to stay afloat until help arrives. Located deep in the bowels of the ship is the engine room. It should continue to function even when the ship is on fire. This is the commanding center of the vessel. With a replica of controls similar to what you find at the bridge, the engineers can literally steer the ship from this location. They are the first on board before any mission to power the engine before handing over the controls to the commander at the bridge. There too, they monitor the movement and are the last to leave after a mission is complete.
Heart of the ship. Every system, every machinery that you have seen during your trips in the ship is controlled from here. The main engines are controlled from here. They are in the docket of the engineering technician. The chief electrical engineer operates from this, working with all these consoles here. The guns that you saw firing, they draw their power from this room. The monitors that you saw working in the bridge, they all draw their power from here. So I can shut down the ship from here. So basically this is the heart of the ship.
In case a merchant vessel is spotted and contacted by the Navy, the crew have to be searched in case they haven't identified themselves properly. This is mostly done by the deployment of Kenyan Navy boat unit. This is a smaller, faster unit. They conduct searches. The simulation that follows here is how they enter a merchant ship. In a combat formation, they hook their vessel and move in. They tactically move and get through to the bridge, where the crew has to identify themselves. Today, they are well documented.
Tanzania, Seychelles, and Uganda.
The soldiers tactically move back and communicate to base that all is clear.
So whenever there is a vessel that we either suspect or there is information or intelligence, or if we sight a vessel using our state-of-the-art sensors and radars and equipments, both on board and ashore, and we either note a vessel or we locate a contact, which basically is a vessel, that we are not sure, we suspect, or there is a suspicion that they might be conducting illegal activities within our territorial waters, we can use the boats to intercept, to board this, to search and to seizure.
As you remember, in 2014, we had the MV Al Nur, and 2015, the Baby Iris yacht that we suspected to have been carrying narcotic drugs. And through some thorough search, we were able to establish that this was the case. These people were taken to court and the two vessels were destroyed.
Combat is not the only function on board the Kenya Navy warships. One of the other very important departments is the kitchen, where meals are prepared around the clock.
Hakuna vitu tutaendelea na vita kama askara chakula. Mimi ndio naangaliwa. Hii vitu tunaenda paka unazoea na kwa sido. Unajua sido kunia bahari, hakuna bahari yote kitakutingiza. Wewe unangangana hapa. Unajua askara akipita hapa aone hii menigali imefungwa. Unajua askara atafikiria vibaya sana. Lazima uende, akikuona kuna morale anapata, ndio aendelee pale exercise yake, aendelee akiwa sawa.
On board, there are dining areas. This is the officers' mess, where they come to relax in times of routine patrols. Night falls when we are at sea, and the voyage back to land is mostly radar-driven. Major Mogandi takes back the controls, and we begin to see the lights of Mombasa City. We arrive on land, having learned that there is more to the Navy than the 21-gun salute. This is a contingent that lives up to its motto, Jasiri Baharini. Hassan Mugambi, Citizen TV.
Fire incinerating man!
This is Defense at Sea.